if we could very just briefly touch on the 100, because again, I know that is an absolutely colossal show in sci-fi. I know it's ended now. What was it like to be part of season 5 of the 100?
Well, I can't really not talk about the 100 because the only reason I'm on Warrior Nun is because of the 100.
Hmm.
One of the writers on the 100, season 5, saw me working, and they were looking for someone on Warrior Nun to play the villain. And she said, "Well, I've just been working with this guy, and I think you should check him out." And it all clicked and went ahead. So the 100 is, to me, the 100 is a direct part of what Warrior Nun is. And the only when I got on the 100, it was by coincidence completely. I'd worked with Jason Rothenberg, the showrunner and producer, on a pilot for Warner Brothers called Searchers in South Africa, with both him and Dean White, and that was like a year and a half or 2 years before I got the call for the 100. Season 5's bad, was supposed to be and was Ivana Milistic, but she was pregnant when we began, and obviously production wanted to make sure that nothing bad was going to happen to her. You know,
Yeah.
so they were like, well, we got to bring someone in who we can beat up and tire and put through extreme weather conditions and make suffer. So for some reason, Dean and Jason thought it would be a good idea to put me through that. So they called me, and I had zero prep time. But I dove straight into trying to do something different, because I thought, if I'm gonna do this show, I want to do something different, because I hadn't seen the show. I respected it. I respected a lot of actors that were working on it, and especially because I was being given the chance by Jason, by Dean. I didn't want to let them down, so I worked very hard in very little time to prepare something that ended up working very well. Not only because of the work I'd done, but I was surrounded by such a talented team of young actors. One who, to me, it keeps sticking in my head, and I still have an amazing relationship with, and who's actually was just on Fakes, Simon's other show, Richard Harmon,
Hmm.
Murphy.
Yeah.
It was one of those times where you actually have a co-star to bounce the ball off. That is just, it was fun. It was fun, and it was fun, and it doesn't happen too often. So I was lucky to get the 100, and I was lucky to get it when I got it. I was lucky to be in season 5 because it was such an amazing group of people, and I think it was a great season because they were able to introduce a bunch of new actors that came from outer space.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, I know that a lot of people, season 5, a lot of those guys were tired, and we brought some new blood in, and we kind of upped the energy a bit,
Hmm.
and tried, to take care of those people who had been holding the torch for 4 seasons already, and it went very well, and I made some very good friends while I was on there, and I met some incredibly talented people both in front and behind the camera.
Yeah. And as I said, with the 100, I watched it from day one it ever was released in the UK. So I followed the show all the way to the end. And by the time we got to season 5, the show would have become, it was very established with the core characters, the core direction it was in. And so I know when we knew with season 5 they were going to bring a whole bunch of new characters, right? And I knew that we needed something different, but it was very on edge whether the fans would accept to that or not, because they like their character, they want nothing to happen to their character. And I think with yourself and Ivana as well, I think the work both of you did on that show, that's why to me your performances in that show always stick out in my head the most, because that was a time where I really felt reimbursed and my real love for the show, because by the time we got to season 4, it was very much tethering. As you said, you could tell the main characters were probably so tired. It's such a grueling show. I keep hearing about filming,
It's
and
very hard to keep it fresh and
yeah,
to to find new leases of life within characters that you've been exhausting and you've been using. You gotta give a dog a new trick, and it's
yeah.
because if not, it becomes the office. It gets boring, Not the office, the show. It becomes the daily office.
I
Go
know.
fuck back. Uh, Ivana is such a force of nature, both as a
Yeah,
professional and as an actress, and as a person. I mean, she must have been exhausted every day. I mean, she was carrying another human being inside, and yet she was able to be the most energetic, funny, and amazing human being on set every day.
hmm,
And that energy, it was just, you know and as I said, I like to kid around a lot, and there were a lot of people on the set that I had a lot of fun with, and Jordan Bolger, the other British guy on the show,
yeah.
he was great, incredible sense of
Awesome.
humor, amazingly talented young man, and that guy's going places. I mean, he's already been on Star Wars. He's doing incredibly well, and one of the first major shows he got was 100, and I'm always
Yeah.
happy to see people suddenly, in all these different universes, and I'd be like, I work with that guy. Um, but yeah, I mean, these I think we really brought some extra energy on there, and I think we upped the game because they were like, well, they're bringing these people over from Europe, European actors. We better behave, and be on our best game, and I think both within the show and outside the show, we were able to put a bit of an extra spark into it, and I'm very satisfied with the work I did on there, and I'm very happy that it brought me to other places,
Hmm.
aka Warrior Nun.